So it's you. They were singing your praises in here not long before you stepped in. Or was it another Dragonborn who inspired the song? Heroes come and go, as do lovers and kings. Yet at any given moment, there can only be one. And that's why it's so hard when they leave. Balgruf the Greater never knew me. He was making the pilgrimage up the 7,000 steps the day his father approached me. I imagine the old man passed before he ever spoke to his son about the Thane's true identity. As a stranger thrust into court, Balgruf likely resented the boy's existence, even more so if he knew the truth. I could try, but it takes two to have a conversation. You're the only one I've seen since that day. And if I left him there, another would have come. Maybe someone like Gren, and he would have shown far less mercy. I'm not sure I should tell you. It may sound pathetic, but... Don't look. But a couple of Gren's men just walked in, no-name soldiers. But they're probably just making sure everything is clear. I've watched them. This is how they do things. They sweep the area, and if no ruckus breaks out, the others follow.
Your savior has arrived. Bard, play something whimsical. I want everyone feeling as good as I look.
Yes, my lord. Your grace, I mean, your highness.
I'm glad you corrected yourself. It saves me the trouble of having to kill you. And then who would play Mogo's Mead? Me? I may be charming, but let's face it. I've heard wounded coyotes with more musical sense.
No, your highness, I'm sure you have a lovely voice.
Enough with that Your Highness nonsense. You're actually right the first time. Unlike Ulfric, we're trying to keep this little rebellion quiet.
Thank you, my lord. I'll do my best.
Of course you will. My happiness depends on it.
I take it you're well acquainted with this group. The big one guards the door, and the girl stays by his side.
Innkeeper, I demand tribute as a true son of Ysgramor, harbinger of us all. I want you to provide my men with food, beds, and drink, all free of charge.
Nah, I don't think so.
This is what I love about my fellow Nords. So brave, yet so stubborn. Do you have any children, Innkeeper?
My son? Eric? What about him?
Oh, I was just thinking of what a strapping young lad he is, and how dashing he will look when we strap him to the rack.
Don't hurt him. You win.
I'm not convinced your contrition is real.
Please, have mercy, I beg you.
Why can't these people be more accommodating the first time? Do they think I like playing the bad guy?
There's too many of them. We better leave. Come on, follow me.
And where might you be going? It isn't the Thane's old house, Carl. What are the odds? And you, Dragonborn. I suppose you don't have my axe. No matter. I don't have your Thane. I don't need the axe. Often called the ritual of proving ground. First you prove your blood, and then you prove your strength. But he forgets there are two paths to glory. And why slay a legendary beast when you can slay nameless men? Oh, I don't expect them to. Dead don't tend to recognize much of anything. I'll be the only living person with a vote. Of course, I considered making Brun High King after his mother made such a persuasive argument. But I think I'll go the unconventional route and vote for myself instead. Not for us, it isn't. When we call ourselves the blood of Skyrim, it has nothing to do with the blood of Ysgramor, but rather the blood of bastards. Some of us are bastards by our fathers, others have been made so by the gods, but all of us have been tossed away. This is our time, our day, our reckoning. For when Skyrim is scorched by war and fire, it is the bastards who will inherit the rubble. You mean my cousin, the former Thane? That's right. Eldritch isn't the only one with spies. I'm not worried about him. Anyone who can't stand up to a handful of my guards won't stand a chance against the legendary dragon. That's one way of putting it. I saw some of the things the war teacher did to him. I think I went half crazy just watching. That's war in a nutshell, isn't it? A numbers game. The Empire, the Stormcloaks, the Thalmor, and the Forsworn. They all have numbers. So it's simple. You let them all dwindle their numbers down, and then you start making alliances. That's why we're on our way to the Reach. The Forsworn are the low-hanging fruit. The way I see it, we need each other. All I have to do is promise them Markarth. After he betrayed me. Now, I'm not a vindictive person. Charming, yes. Drunk, mostly. But vindictive? I don't have a vindictive bone in my body. But I can't allow people to defy me and live. That's why you're going to kill him for me.
And why should I care about the war teacher when the one who commanded him is right in front of me?
You mean he was really tortured? I had no idea. I'm sorry.
What? Is this true?
No, I'm kidding. The whole thing was my idea.
You bastard.
This is war, my lady. This is not the time for thin skin or a pointless sacrifice.
What is it you want?
The death of the war teacher. In exchange, you'll have access to all his knowledge on the ritual. Should be enough to get you in good graces with your precious Thane. The night you will have making up. I almost envy him.
If he betrayed you, why don't you kill him yourself?
Oh, I've tried, but he's holed himself up in the bleak coast cave. I've sent scores of men in there, but none have returned. Just like old times, I guess. So I figured it'd be better to pit my enemies against each other.
Just remember, our business isn't over, Gren.
You shouldn't make that face. You're far more beautiful when you're smiling. Now go on, before you make Sevrilla jealous.
You come seeking my death, Dragonborn, but you are already too late. The ritual is over. The beast has been called, and it will come for those who kneel to false kings. The axe, forged from blood and bones, hails the beast who cannot be slain. When none deserve to sit the throne, we will bow to monsters born in shame.
The void is too good for this one. Hold on, do you smell that? He's been burning books. Hopefully there's still something useful left. What in oblivion?
It apologizes for frightening you.
I'm not frightened. It's just not every day I meet a talking wolf.
You do not appear to have the ring. That leaves one other. So, the ring has gained a new owner. What does its master ask of it? From death itself, it does not remember much, save that it is ring-bound, forced to serve a master, and denied eternity. Perhaps it was once a man, but it now through spirit lives, wearing the face of a wolf. That will depend on what its current existence is. Is it a man tainted by the beast blood? Or an animal freed from the man? It remembers building Whose memories they are, it does not know. Ah, it is through the summoning that it is called to the Earth Plane. When the ring is worn, the blood of Hircine stirs. When the ring is removed, the rage subsides, waters are stilled, and its mind returns. But its body is weak. Alas, it is weak. It runs in fear at the first sight of danger, and quivers at the sight of blood. But when the master bears the ring, it becomes a beast man once more, and loses its temperance. Fret not, for the answers to your questions sits before you. To dead ones the former master spoke, and spoke loudly. The ritual is not what it seems. It is certain death for all. The first story tells of Borgas consumed, and an axe made from his bone. The bone is vengeance, meant to slay the beast of the wild hunt, the immortal one that consumed him. Yes. So the poem goes, the beast would be slain when the axe of a forgotten king is wielded by a forgotten son. But there is a second story. It tells another tale of a man asked to fetch Borgas' remains. A bone is missing. This man, he fears what his masters will tell him if the corpse is incomplete. And so, without another thought, he picks up another to put in its place. A cursed bone. The bone of a beast. The war teacher, he knew. The axe was not made of king's bone, but rather the beast that consumed him. One of the books burned here was a man's confession, and another, written centuries later, warned of its consequences. When the bone is quenched in mortal blood, it takes on a new form. Thus a beast is not slain, it is born. A king the ritual does not crown. A king it devours. Yes, perhaps he should be slain before he cannot. The king's blood is strong, as is the beast's poison. But perhaps there is another way. Use the spell. Trade blood for blood. But know this. If you are not of king's blood, you will not survive the transfer. Yes, there is another book. Find it, and I will heed your call.
By Ysmir. If what this wolf says is true, then we don't have much time. We have to get this tome back to Greenwood. We can still save him. Then we better not waste a second. Let's hurry! Kris! What happened?
Foolish boy. I warned him not to be careless with the axe.
Was it Gran's men? Did they hurt you? Where's the Thane?
No, not Gren, but the Thane. When I scolded him, he screamed at me with such a rage, and that's when he changed. I barely escaped the cavern. I would have died in that cellar, but my men came to rescue me.
Where is he now?
Down there, where the axe was forged. Listen to me, Volatil. You must kill him. Do you hear me? There is glory in this. Shor himself, Ysgramor, all of Sovngarde will honor his sacrifice and yours.
Sovngarde? Shortcape his Sovngarde. Larsden will not see it today. We should make our way inside. Hurry! Wait! We're too late. Dragonborn, he's gone, isn't he? I know. If what they say about the beasts are true, there's no turning back. You're going to kill him, and I can't be a part of it. All my life I have served. When the Jarl asked me to save a child's life, I didn't question him. When the Thane asked me to be his housecarl, I followed him, and I loved him, knowing that in the end, he would put Skyrim first. And now it's my duty as a Nord to slay a man I cannot possibly slay. Well then, I refuse. I will not walk into Sovngarde, blood on my hands like some hero to be praised. I will not take his life for a fool's reward. If the Divines make beasts of men, then they make them in their image. Damn the Jarls, damn Ysgramor, and damn Sovngarde. I will serve them no longer.
The dragon's blood flows like any other. It can still be done. The problem is the amount of blood.
I told you I will not slay him, and I feel as if everyone is asking me to do just that.
The wolf understands, but what if the sacrifice was not yours? Perhaps another dragon, one whose blood was as full as it is strong.
No. Do you realize what he's asking of you? I won't allow it. I want to believe that. My heart hopes for a way we can all survive this, not just for Skyrim, but for us. So that one day, we can meet at the tavern not just as kings and housecarls, but as friends who love each other. Take the tome. I may not believe in the gods, but I believe in you.
You're safe. I saw the beast emerge from behind the mountains. It headed north in the direction of Rorek State. As much as I hate to say it, at least there's a garrison there already. But it might not be enough. Go to the cellar and take as many of my men as you need. And if you can, kill them both. Gren and the boy. Like Martin Septim. Like Martin Septim, the boy turned into a bloody dragon. Ysmir watch over us all.
Dragonborn! Larsden! Wake up, please!
Valatild,
You don't seem satisfied with the ending. It was such a noble sacrifice. You dying. But, as I said the day that we met, if you are unsatisfied with the outcome, I will return your gold piece. It's the least I can do. For you see, I have no control over the end. I can set the players in motion, but you ultimately have free will. But beginnings, that is something we can influence. That is something we can control. It was not the end I foresaw, but you will indeed die, should events play out as they did. Meaning, they still can be changed. Yes, and no. I gave you a telling, one that will come to pass precisely as you saw it, provided the beginning doesn't change. Consider the following. What if I told you that this gold piece, this marker, represents a different starting point than yours? Do you remember how Valatild and Larsden met? Ah, so you remember. Good. But your memory is still incomplete. I will fill in the details. He was standing on a hill. A saber cat crept up behind him, and behind that cat was our faithful housecarl. He will tell you he was on the hill searching for the heir, but in truth he had all but given up. He had tossed the notes into the valley below, and before that he was here, drinking his life away. He has no idea that in a fortnight's time all of your fates will change. Of course, you have the power to alter the future, for this is but a beginning. As I told you before, the end is yours to keep. Like any good fortune teller, I am giving you a chance to change your future. Find a way to end that accursed meeting, through blood or guile, and save your life. Or stay here for all eternity. The door is open. The choice is yours.
Tell me, adventurer, do you ever feel like you're destined for something greater? I wish I could agree, but my destiny seems to be preordained. I'm a Thane, you see, but I have no power in court. I'm supposed to live out the rest of my life as a noble, while all around us Skyrim cries for help. All my life I've grown up with a silver spoon, and all my life I've been told how I can't be ungrateful. But this isn't the life that I wanted. Why shouldn't I be ungrateful? Why can't I pick up a sword and fight for the cause I believe in? Yes, even as the wars rage, farmers must pick their crops, and hunters must trap for skins. So what does a Thane do when he has no power? I don't know. But maybe I just haven't looked hard enough. I sound how I feel. Skyrim is the center of everything. And I feel like I'm in the middle of nowhere. While others fight for glory, I've been on a fool's chase to find an heir to Borgus. All on account of some stupid document written by the Jarl's father. It says that an heir to Borgus is alive and well through a bastard child living in Cyrodiil. I've also been doing research on a ritual. A way to prove this child is Ysgramor's kin. But I don't know. It all seems so far-fetched. And if I leave for Cyrodiil now, the Jarl's made it clear that I won't be welcome back. I know. Even if the ritual were real, how could I convince this person to go through with it? They'll think I'm mad. Oh, really? Whose life could possibly depend on mine? Really? I do hear that many of the other Thanes and nobles don't hear the wishes of the people. Maybe you're right. I admit, I came here to drink and gather up the courage to leave. And I was just about to walk out the door when you came by. But the next King's Moot is a long ways away. Perhaps I'll think about this some more. I don't know who you are or why you approached me, but I thank you for your counsel. Maybe next time we meet, I'll be a little less dour.
There you are, sleepyhead. You're going to miss your own party. The end of Grant's rebellion. And, of course, you joining the heroes of Riverwood. And not to mention all the other things you've done. We really don't have time to go through all of them. Of course, my liege, it's behind Yovaska. I was thinking the Bannered Mare at first, but I prefer the outdoors. Come on, everyone's waiting. I'm very pleased with the turnout. I even coaxed one of the other things to be at your party. It was quite a coup. Welcome to your party, my hero.
I'll bet you 100 septims I can hit the bullseye 20 times in a row.
I'll take that bet. Not sure 20 arrows can even fit on that bullseye.
Arrows? Who said anything about arrows?
If you want a drink, the barrel is right by where Anumla is standing. I told her to stop anyone who drinks too much. Or too little.
There's some fine warriors in this group. Some of you should consider joining the military.
You'd have to make me a general. Give me a really high horse to sit on so everyone can be inspired by my visage.
Damn, there's a joke here, but Skjarn isn't really haughty enough to sit on a high horse. Arrogant and contemptuous, yes, but not haughty.
Keep digging, Elf. You'll find it in there somewhere.
Is Rumarin married? We ought to set him up with someone nice.
Do we even know what kind of girl he likes?
Perhaps someone with a good laugh.
Oh no, don't look at me.
Thane Larsden, good to see you're doing well. How's business?
Business is good. All thanks to your man Cygnus. He's been invaluable on the road.
You know, you can still hold a blade yourself, boy. I taught you how to use one well enough.
Ah, don't tempt me. I might start a rebellion of my own.
Ha!
Lizard,
And I suppose
did you say
want
you were
me
one
to
of the
provide
Honorable
you with
Eight?
the army.
Did you know Arnvold,
I
the
can make
Wayfarer?
him no better man.
Karas, what's the word on that contract? I've got a stock of weapons and armor ready to go.
Patience, girl. Demand is high. The higher-ups just need to make sure you've been vetted.
Damn all this bureaucracy. The soldiers in the field need those weapons now.
I know, child. But this is the side we fight for. Orders are orders.
Of course. I'm not big on debauchery and wild parties. These sort of simple gatherings between friends is precisely where I excel. If I have one bone to pick with Zora, it's the location. If she wanted to have the party here, she could have at least asked me to cook.
What's the word
Late
on
for
that
your own
contract?
party, huh?
I've got a stock of
Well,
weapons and armor
traveler,
ready to
you've
go.
earned that right. I'm sure all those prisoners you saved in Angevund can attest to that. Oh, Willie? You better tell our friend over there to get back in his coffin. But I don't blame you for having bad memories of that place. For me, it was that cave all over again. That's why, when this party is over, I'm headed back to the Rift. That boy was the last bit of honor we have left. I owe it to the company to find him and to make sure he's safe.
What do you think of this idea, Karas? An entire regiment using bound weapons.
I think you've been drinking too much skooma, Elf. Nords aren't magic users like your kind, but we are excellent blacksmiths.
That's ridiculous. I don't even like skooma.
Funny. I thought I saw a bottle on you the other day.
That was a bottle of imitation skooma. I carry it around sometimes because it makes me look more dangerous.
I'd like to work the Skyforge just once. Maybe I'll sneak on over there after the party. I wouldn't have missed it. It's my chance to honor the Dragonborn, a hero of Riverwood, and the one who stopped Grant's rebellion. So here's to you. May your weapons never rust and your shield never break. Which one? I forged almost a dozen axes, bows, and armor for all those people you saved at Angervund. Amazing how much fire was in their eyes. They must have really hated this war teacher who tortured them. Rumarin, when are you going to give up those bound blades and wield a proper weapon?
That's an odd question, coming from a blacksmith of Gavach. Don't your weapons practically come from Oblivion?
That's not exactly how it works. They're quenched in Daedric blood, but the weapons themselves are made here.
I don't know, it sounds to me like the only difference is I have to pay you money.
That's the cost of staying alive, Elf. Don't be cheap when it comes to that.
So you were able to kill Gren. I will not celebrate his passing, but the war teacher, his death I will savor for some time. there's no point discussing it any further. Both men are dead, and good meat is wasted on argument. It is done. Sovngarde will have to do. Sometimes I wonder if Shore made Sovngarde for the living, to ease our suffering. It is of little consolation. I would rather have her here, but we can't change the past. As I said, Sovngarde will have to do. For the one who helped me get my revenge, I will endure this festival.
There's a joke here, but Skjarn isn't really
The Breton asked me if I wanted to be a hero of Riverwood. I told her I do not play children's games.
I hope you didn't come to the party to mope, Aldvar. Anya can rest easy now that the war teacher is dead.
I'm not moping, girl. This is how I normally look. The same way you can't wipe that burn off your face.
I guess we have something in common after all.
You must be the Dragonborn. My name is Kris. As a soldier for the Empire, I appreciate what you did to quell Gren's rebellion. While I'm perfectly happy to celebrate Gren's death, I've come to visit my old pupil, Thane Larsdun. On and off, nearly a dozen years. Most of the Jarls and nobles send their children to solitude, but have no real expectation of the results. The previous Jarl, Balgraf's father, stressed I trained the boy hard and make him a warrior. I'm afraid we'll never know if I succeeded. That axe Gren found, I know of its legend. The axe born from blood and bones, to slay the beast who cannot be slain. If Gren had slain the beast, if such a beast even existed, he might have had a claim when the Kingsmoot arrived. Thankfully, we avoided that scenario. Thane Larsdun mentioned the same ritual to me once, before he changed his mind and started this business of his. It's sad to see how fickle youth are, but I'm glad it's not his death we're celebrating. I'm afraid by the time word reached General Tullius, it was already over. A good thing, given he has his hands full with the Stormcloaks.
Dragonborn, you were so busy fighting off Gren's rebellion that I never thanked you for that day at the Huntsman. I gave up that fool's quest to start my own business. I realized the true king of Skyrim sits not on the throne, but on the face of a coin.
Even know what kind of girl he likes.
That he is. He's my right-hand man, my sword and shield.
Don't look at me.
Kris, whom I've invited to the parties with the Empire. He knows a lot of people who are tired of military service, wants to work as bodyguards for nobles, like myself. He introduced me to Cygnus, and the Red Guy's been with me ever since. He even saved me from a saber cat once. Those things are ferocious. I'm glad you asked. I provide commoners with a tour of Dragon's Reach, and let them feel what it's like to be a noble for a day. So next time someone asks you if you been to the Cloud District, you can say, yes, thanks to Thane Larsdun. And for 100 gold more, I also loan them my housecarl for a day. It's not like I'll be in a war anytime soon.
It's been a long time since I've seen Whiterun. So little has changed, and yet it all looks so different. It sounds like you and your friends are having a lot of fun back there. Good. You should treasure every one of them. I thank you, but I'm here on business. I don't want to spoil your fun. But there is something familiar about you. I wonder if we've met before. I guess you can say I'm here to see a friend of my own, although oddly enough, I doubt he remembers me. He was just a babe when I last saw him. I'm not sure I'd recognize him myself. I must have left quite an impression then. Hopefully I can do so again.
Are you new in town, my lady? I don't believe we've met.
Are you Thane Larsdun? I'm here about the housecarl position.
I'm afraid that position has already been filled. I'm sorry.
That's a shame.
Well, it was a pleasure meeting you. Good day.
He grew up to be a rather handsome man, although I don't really care for the beard.
If I may have everyone's attention, the Dragonborn would like to say a few words.
Speech!
Speech!
Now I'm kidding. You have already done enough. You do not have to give us a grand speech. Thank you, my champion. I am always more comfortable when I have your permission. Now, we've all come to this party to celebrate our victory, and more importantly, our friendship. But while two of those things will last forever, one of them has to come to an end.
Do you mean our victory or our friendship? Because I can't imagine you would want to end the party.
I'm sorry, Rumarin, but the party is over. Although if you keep interrupting me, I might just end our friendship as well.
It was a damn good party. I thank you for having me.
Hear, hear.
Hear, hear!
To the Dragonborn. And to you, Zora, excluding that horrible bard. Never been to a finer gathering.
To the Dragonborn! Huzzah!